Today I'm going to be making tres leches cake. And so for this recipe, I'm going to be showing you our list of ingredients just for the sponge part right now. And we're going to make the sponge first. And this is a cake that you kind of make in 3 different parts. The first part is making the sponge cake, which is very, very important because it has to be, a really good sponge that's absorbent, so it'll be nice and moist. And then we're going to do the syrup, tres leches, the 3 kinds of milk that go into the cake, that soak into the cake, and that will give you that, delicious tiramisu type of texture when you're eating the cake. And then finally, we do the whipped cream and the fruit toppings. So that's our decoration basically, and that will come at the end. Now let's go to our ingredients list. Okay, so now we're going to go through all of the ingredients that we're going to need for our sponge cake, for our tres leches cake. Now I'm going to be making this cake for my son Nemo's birthday. This is his favorite cake. So far he's been asking me to make this for him every year since he's been an adult. He really likes this cake. We'll start off with 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and then you will need a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. Also, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You will need 5 large eggs, and you will need a cup of sugar divided. Here's 3/4 cup and 1/4 cup of sugar. And then finally we have a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 cup of whole milk. 1/3 cup of whole milk. Thanks, Nemo. So we got 1/3 cup of whole milk. That's our final. And next, we will begin to make our sponge cake. Hello, sir. What is it that you're looking for? This is our kitchen supervisor, Lux, and he wants to be in the middle of whatever I am doing. So, let me take a quick break to play some ball! Woo! Okay, hopefully that'll keep him busy for 2 seconds so we can start making the cake. Okay, so for this next part, we need to take these 5 eggs and we're going to separate them into yolks and whites. So I've got 2 bowls here. I'm going to do this all with my hands. And go from side to side. 1. 2. 3. 'Ooh, lots of egg whites here. Excuse me. And we're going to be whipping these, or beating them. So you'll need an electric mixer for the next part when we beat these. But I'm going to separate my eggs first, and then I'm going to sift together my dry ingredients. Here's my last egg. Excuse me. There we are. 5 yellows and 5 whites. Okay, so for this next part, we need to take these 5 eggs and we're going to separate them into yolks and whites. So I've got 2 bowls here. I'm going to do this all with my hands. and go from side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, lots of egg whites here. Excuse me. And we're going to be whipping these, or beating them. So you'll need an electric mixer for the next part when we beat these. But I'm going to separate my eggs first, and then I'm going to sift together my dry ingredients. Here's my last egg. Excuse me. There we are. 5 yellows and 5 whites. Okay, for this next part, I have to sift together my dry ingredients. So we'll start with our bowl of flour. We have a cup of flour, and we have to mix the flour with the salt, and we're also going to be putting in our baking soda here. So I'm just gonna layer and kind of mix these things together. Sorry, not baking soda, baking powder, I think it is. Yes. I'm going to sift this. All together. And then we move on to mixing the eggs. Okay, so now I have to get the oven ready to bake. We're baking at 350 degrees. And I'm going to take a 9 by 13 baking dish. Here's my baking dish, and I'm going to go ahead and doesn't want to work that way. There we go. We coated it with vegetable oil, so it's ready to go, non-stick. Okay, for the next part, we're going to need the electric mixer. So I'm going to get my electric mixer ready. You want the beater, excuse me, you need to tap the camera there. The beaters need to be nice and dry. So make sure that your beaters are dry when you do this. And go ahead and insert those. Locked and loaded. Go. My beaters are ready to go, and I'm going to put in the 5 yellows with my sugar. I'm going to take these 5 yellows for about 2 minutes until the yolks are pale and yellow, for about 2 minutes, okay? On high speed. Here we go. now you see that the color went from a darker yellow to a nice light yellow. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and scoop everything into the middle. I'm going to continue beating this until I incorporate everything in here. And the next thing I'm going to be putting in here is our vanilla. And we can also add 1/3 of a cup of whole milk. And now we're going to beat it. Beat it. Okay, now we're going to do our egg whites, and for this part I'm going to put in, I actually have a little cream of tartar in here to help me achieve my peaks. First I want to go for soft peaks, so I'm going to do a little beating on high just until I reach the stage of having soft peaks. Okay, so only about 1 minute. Here we go. These are kind of stiff already, but they're soft. They're soft, so I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar and move on to stiff peak stage. If you look at the color of this, you'll start to see there's like a sheen on the egg, and that will show you you're getting, so they're still soft here, but when the sheen starts to change, you'll get closer to stiff. Those peaks are stiff. You could turn this over completely. Nothing comes out because they are stiff. Now for this next part, I'm going to take take the beaters out of here. Uh-oh. We have a beater situation here. Hold on. Luxembourg. Hey. Just egg whites. Lux. Where's my kitchen supervisor? Uh-oh. All right, well, I'll let you finish cleaning those up while I get to work on the next part of the recipe. Alrighty, now for the next step, I'm going to take my egg yellow and I'm going to mix it with my flour. Pouring in this mixture, the egg yellows with the sugar and the vanilla. So just the yolks, sugar and the vanilla that we beat earlier, and we're going to gently combine these with our spatula. And you want to do this so that you incorporate all of the flour. Again, you want to be gentle with this. Remember, we're trying to make a sponge cake, so this is all about keeping air pockets and air bubbles in here and not overworking everything. And then when we're done getting all of this combined, pretty close now, once this is all combined, we are going to gently fold in our egg white mixture until it is combined. Until this is all combined together. Okay, and here we go. We're going to take our egg white mixture and we're going to combine it. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the egg white in here and we're going to gently fold it in. Very gently. We're folding. We're folding. We're folding. We're not mixing. We're folding. So we're going to keep doing this little by little. Make sure and do this gently, slowly. We don't want to lose all of our volume. Very relaxing. It's like watching the waves in the ocean, except it's cake. Or clouds. What's that one look like? I'm going to stick them all into this bigger bowl. Gives me a little bit more space to work with. I'm going to get all that goodness out of here because we're going to use every last little bit of it. And we're going to fold it gently, bring it into the fold. Be kind. Remember, we do not want to lose all of that wonderful, bubbly, airy egg white. And it's just kind of like, ooh. See those bubbles in there? This is what's going to make our sponge cake spongy. So we need all those bubbles. This is a very delicious cake. It is a Mexican tradition to have this kind of cake for parties, for celebrations, for holidays, for potlucks. It is just a great cake. Now I'm not going to completely mix everything in. I don't really need to get every little last bit of this completely mixed in. But you can see we are pretty darn close. So once we have all of this, we're going to take our greased baking dish, 9 by 13 baking dish, ready to go. And we're going to put our cake in. Every little last bit of the batter needs to come out. And now we're going to put this in our 350 degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. Temperature and heat can change your cook time, so check it at around 25 or 20 depending on how hot your oven runs. But check it so that you can check to make sure that your oven is not overcooking this beautiful cake. Now, once you have your tres leches all perfectly ready to go into the oven, you're going to let this bake for about 35 minutes, like I said, and then you're going to check it by putting in a toothpick. If the toothpick comes out clean, that means you are ready to go. Into the oven. Okay, and we go center rack. And then we will set our timer for, I'm going to set it for 30 minutes. Now I'm at the 25 minute mark, but my cake is looking amazing, smells great, and it's clean, so we're ready to take it out. I wish you could smell it. It is divine. Perfectly cooked. Now we just need to let it cool and prepare our tres leches. This has to be completely cool because it's going to go in the fridge. We're going to put the 3 milk mixture in here, and then we're going to put it into the refrigerator once it's completely cooled. It's very hot right now. And we're going to let the tres leches soak into the cake.
Okay, you're going to start with the ingredients for the tres leches, which is 3 milks. You have the sweetened condensed milk, the evaporated milk, and heavy cream. Any brand does. We just got the essential brand, sweetened condensed, and evaporated milk carnation. They're all pretty much the same. And then some heavy whipping cream, which is basically cream. You need about 1/3 of a cup. So with those three, you have the 2 cans, the sweetened condensed and the evaporated, and 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream. Open the cans, combine them together, mix them up, and get ready to put them on the cake. This is what makes the cake yummy. That sweetened condensed is thick. You want to scrape all of it out of the cans. There it is. Very thick, creamy. But that's going to be able to soak into the cake. We'll show you in a few minutes that you have to punch the cake with a bunch of holes so all this creamy goodness, 3 milks, 3 leches, soaks in. It's going to soak in overnight before we do the next steps. There we go. You got to poke a lot of holes. Poke, 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 poke. Poke it in, poke it in, poke it in, poke it in. Get it nice and perforated, because you're going to take that milk and pour it over the top. You want it to soak into the sponge. There we go. Just pour it in. You're going to cover that whole cake with that creamy, milky goodness. Get it all over the cake. Get it nice and even. Put all of that on there. It's what makes the taste of the cake so creamy and so yummy. You're really going to enjoy this. After you're done with that, you're going to soak it overnight in the fridge, pull it out, and now the time is to put the whipped cream and all the dressings on it. Take heavy whipping cream, or actually it's Cool Whip we're using. You can use whipping cream, whatever you prefer. Cool Whip is nice because it keeps its consistency. Because you're going to do this cake and you're going to put fruit on top of it, and then you're going to chill it, because you're not going to eat it right away. You're going to eat it as part of the celebration, the birthday celebration. Be very liberal with the Cool Whip. Get in all the nooks and crannies, spread it in, push it down. Pretty much it's your choice, but it's good to put like 1.5 inch layer on top of this cake, at least, because this is the frosting. As you're going to see next, what you do when you're done putting the frosting on is you're going to put some fruit on it. Fresh fruit is the best. You can use mangoes, peaches, strawberries, kiwis, all sorts of fruits. We were limited to what we could get this time of year. End of January in the Midwest. We were lucky to actually get strawberries, but we got strawberries, kiwis, and mangoes to put on there. But take that whipping cream, spread it evenly all the way to the top edge of the baking sheet of the pan. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to put a little extra on, just to get in all the little crannies. Try to keep it level on top. Maybe do a little, design, little curves, scallops, if you want to be fancy. Do a little design with your Miracle Whip whipping cream on top of the cake. There we go. Start putting the fruit up. Strawberries, mangoes, strawberries, 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 strawberries. Ooh, kiwis, 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 strawberries, strawberries. There we go. Mango, 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 and kiwis. And you can pretty much do any design. The nice thing is that every piece of cake should have a lot of fruit on top. So you can basically cover the whole top of the cake with fruit. But it's nice to be creative and do some sort of design, because it is a festive cake.
Wow, very pretty. Very pretty. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba el rey David. Hoy por ser tu cumpleaños te las cantamos a ti. Despierta, mi bien, despierta, mira que ya amaneció. Ya los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Qué linda está la mañana en que vengo a saludarte. Venimos todos con gusto y placer a felicitarte. Ya viene amaneciendo, ya la luz del día nos dio. Levántate de mañana, mira que ya amaneció. Blow 'em out quick. How old are you?
29.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!